Now that I've changed the volume of the music, hopefully my voice comes in clear too. Because I did not get a chance to test that. What I did get a chance to do is import some new brushes into Krita. I just have to actually restart to make it happen. So why don't we do that real fast. You're a hair quiet, but I think that's just from being sick. Yeah, probably. I could turn it up a hair, but I might leave it where it's at least until I feel better. So if I do a new sprite, should have access to new brushes now. Yeah, it's them charcoal brushes that I was suggested. Wow, that looks awful. There we go, that's a bit better. It takes a bit more pressure than I thought it would. It's not so bad though. Well, what's going on, y'all? I'm going to be designing some relics today. I have a few different ideas, but the main thing is that I would like to show from start to finish what that process looks like. And so we're going to go through one of the relic ideas that we have, and at some point we're going to come up with a new one and go from start to finish, designing the actual sprite for it and putting it into the game, testing it out, seeing how the balance goes, and then we'll be good. So let me just get myself oriented here for a minute. I will be right back. I realized that the mic mute button didn't actually work, so you guys were able to hear me sweeping the cat fur off of my drawing tablet. That's alright. I shouldn't have expected anything to work. Alright, so we have new brushes, we have a new style guide that we have to abide by, and we have new relics. So the style guide was written by Arabella in chat there, and it is effectively just what rules we have to follow for making the relics fit the style that we're going for, because we're doing a bit of a shift, right? Let me see if I can show you a before and after of what the relics looked like prior and what they're changing to, because I think that will give you guys kind of a good idea of what we're doing here. Let me figure this out, how I'm going to do this. So I'll take this. Yeah. So if I drag this window over here. So this is the torch sprite that I made. You can see that it's kind of simplistic. It's 512 pixels by 512 pixels. And the art style of the fire doesn't really match the handle of it. So what my lovely wife has been working on is changing a couple of the sprites. Get that downloaded so I can show it. And just like so. So that is the new version. you can see it's a lot more consistent, and it's also half the resolution. This is 256 by 256. And though it's not finished yet, like she was saying there in chat, it's a lot more consistent, and you're getting more detail out of less pixels, and so it's better for file size and stuff like that. Makes the game a little bit easier to download. The game isn't huge, but by the time it's done, it might be, especially if all of these are, you know, 512 by 512 sprites, and there's hundreds of them in the game. So what we're gonna do instead, what we're gonna do instead is try to swap to this art style and make everything kind of look this way, you know? Another feature of this is the limited color palette. You'll see that there are harder lines between the shadows and the highlights, so that everything, it's limited, but it looks good, you know? So we're going to be trying to do something along those lines with the new sprites. And now I just need to pick a relic for us to go with, and we'll just follow that through from beginning to end. You'll get to see what that looks like. So, opening our relic list. And notes on my phone crashed. I've never seen that happen before. Why don't we do the... I can't do the ring box because that requires rings to be implemented. Want to make a poll? I could do a poll. Let's see. Yeah, I'll do a poll. We will do I've got a few different ideas here, so let me just type in each one and we'll see what people go for. Let's see, those are all drawn. That would be a complex one to do on a stream. Yeah, why don't we do that? That'll be good. Okay, so I will add one more option, and this will be the ring. Alright, so the poll is there in chat. Hopefully it pops up for you guys. I'll give I will give a brief rundown of what the different options are. So the red wizard's hat is the item that will make fire attacks not do damage to you, as well as giving you some extra power on those fire attacks. Ground wire makes it so that electric attacks don't do damage to you. And mood ring is a really interesting one. What that one does is it selects a random element from all of the different elemental magics, and it makes all of your attacks for that battle have the effect of that element. So basically, if it selects fire, all of your attacks are going to do fire damage. So if you have like an enemy that's weaker to fire, it's going to take more damage, right? I'll let the poll go for a little bit, and then we will see see how it goes. In the meantime, let me try to get an idea of how the brush strokes can look to get kind of close to this. I think it's a little bit. I might have to go a little bit smaller. I mean, I think that that's close enough. Like, this has a little bit more, like, transparent pixels near the edge. This is completely hard-edged. Do I still have the markdown file with the style guide? I do. I can pull that up on screen, if that's what you mean. I've just got to download it here. Open with Ghostwriter. I hardly know her. Put this over here. This is the style guide for the Relics. Let's see. Yeah, I can see how that works out. Let me. So if I do a line like that and I give it a blur at effectively a radius of 1. What are we thinking? What I could do is duplicate it and then apply that filter. That's the wrong blur. I'll look for a new brush. Okay. If that's how we want to tackle it, that's not the end of the world. Ah, I see. Can you test half a pixel? I sorta can. I don't know, is half a pixel even a thing that you could actually do? Yeah, it looks like that. With it duplicated and then a blur of half a pixel. Now you can kind of see it better. See what I'm saying? It's not close enough? Okay. Yeah, if you find a brush that you like better, I'm more than happy to, you know, try that out instead. So otherwise, it's going to be a little bit tough to get these to look the right way. So right now, it looks like the pole is split between the Red Wizard's hat and the mood ring. I could definitely do both. It's more about which one we do first. Alright, I think we will... I don't know, I still do feel like that's pretty dang close. Because, like, it's not exact, sure. But I don't know. It'll definitely become noticeable around these pixels here if I were using a different size brush here. So I guess it makes sense to try to find something that's a little more accurate. We'll see. What the heck happened here? That's great timing on the rice cooker. Alright, why don't we... We'll play the game for a little bit, and then we'll see if she's able to find a better brush. I think that'll kill, actually. Yeah. Bit of a delay there on the onion. It should be okay though. Look at the super sweeties. They're so cute. I almost like them more than the original Spud Buddies. I don't know, I just think that they've got personality. I won't parry. Do more damage against them specifically because they are going to destroy me otherwise. Watch, I'm gonna get like one turned. Oh no, they healed, we're good. Thought I was gonna get like completely one-rounded by this team. Alright, let me see if I can... Alright, that'll kill from the status effect. And then do as little damage to myself as I can muster. The onions are so tanky sometimes. If you don't have like a good draw, you can end up going like 5 rounds if you're not targeting them specifically. That'll do it though. The lesions effect is really, really good early game. If you get a lot of gravel, then you can apply that over and over and take down the tanky ones like this. Pumice is also good because it's just pure lesions. The installer for Krita crashed. That's incredible. Alright, I'll use the fire attack. Take a little self-damage. Oh, that was interesting. The femur actually blocked the recoil damage. That is not supposed to happen. Why don't we fix a bug here live on stream? So if we go to the stat package script, Is it stat packet? No, it's a damage bus that I want to go to. So when we do damage and we check if it's recoil, it should be... I know it checks here somewhere if it's recoil. On thorns damage. Or maybe I don't check for recoil yet. Individually. Packet dot attack, it ignores defense. That's how I'm doing it. What I could do is I could just do this as a... This is a Boolean here. So what I can just... That's what the argument type is. So I can do packet dot is recoil. That is not where that is supposed to have ended. There we go. So now this ignores defense argument is going to ignore it if it explicitly ignores it or if it's recoil. And that should do the trick. We'll test it out. So recoil still works, which is good. Because if you can defend against recoil, then there's no point in getting the recoil nullifying relics. So like you really shouldn't be able to defend against it. I should still take 3 damage, and I did. Good. Alright, so that's functional. Even though I have 4 defense now. Good. Alright, so she was saying that there's a built-in brush that might be good for this. One of the default brushes. It's the first one I clicked on, because that'd be pretty funny. No, that's terrible. Oh, that is just bad, I think. I don't really like it. Well, when I made it smaller, it's actually not super bad. It's just a little more blurry than maybe it should be. What is this one? The charcoal pencil? Charcoal pencil large. That implies the existence of a charcoal pencil small. Ah, medium. Look at that. What about the small one? That small one looks like it's got some promise to it. I sent it to you on Discord? Okay. Oh, well, that's not at all what I was using. Also, why is there so much Octavio in the background? Like in multiple places in just the screenshot you sent me. Is that on purpose? Alright, I'm on all, right? Yeah. This one? Ink pen rough. Oh. Oh. That's pretty good. Even the size that I picked for it's pretty good. So that's 7 pixels. If we do 8. 8 looks pretty dang close. So you wrote that the outline size is 10. I don't know if you follow that yourself here. Do we want to follow the number 10 or do we want to follow the existing sprite here? Oh, you know what? I think it is 10 at some points here. Because like if I press down real hard and get that whole 10, it kind of looks like this corner. Okay, I see. It's because this is a tapered brush. I'm so used to using... I do like all of the sprite work for the game using a size 8 a brush with literally no dynamics to it. Like if I barely touch the tablet versus if I push as hard as I can, it looks exactly the same. But yeah, why don't we use this one at size 10. I will favorite this. And maybe I'll favorite a whole bunch of them here that are favorited. Whatever. Alright. Sounds good. We will use this brush. The red wizard's hat seems to have won the poll. I'm going to end the poll now. And we'll do the red wizard's hat. Why not? So, let's kind of get an idea of the shape of this thing we want. And as soon as I start, I get a phone call. I'll be right back, guys. Well, that's interesting. I'm like half hour into the stream, and my truck that's in the shop is ready to be picked up. So that's interesting. How do I want to do this? Something like this? Want me to drive it home or wait till the stream ends? If you want to drive it home, that would work. You just have to go pay and drive it, and also have somebody drop you off there. I don't 100% love the way that this outline came out, but it's, I don't know, it's kind of got some charm to it. I think if I draw some folds in, it'll look better. Kind of. How do I want to do this so it looks good? I think if I do it like that, we might get what we want. So let's do some, we'll do like a base color here. Do kind of a more saturated here, let's see. Manga gradient. Mask for base color. Set to overlay. I kind of understand this. Maybe. highlights. Manga gradient. Mask of base color layer. 50% set to over. Oh, okay. I think I get it. I think I'm understanding. I think I'm understanding. So if this is the base color, then what I do mask of the base color layer 50% set to overlay. Okay, I think I see how that kind of works out. Gets kind of this probably want to use the same brush, right? I think I'm doing this right. So then for the shadow 1 layer, it's just the smaller details, same color as shadows, but shadows is base color? That's what I'm not understanding. Unless the justification of this is all messed up. Yeah, see, now I'm getting it. So what did you do to get the color for the shadows? Are you just going, like, doing that manually, or are you just doing black and making the opacity different? It looks like it's this way, like less saturated and darker. Maybe like there. I understand not anything about color theory. And I cannot pan for some reason. Or zoom. What is happening right now? Thank you. I have no idea why my zoom and pan and stuff are like getting locked up. For whatever reason, I cannot do anything here. Try that again. Tint toward purple a hair. Okay. Like that. And then we just... Shadows are often cooler colors. That would make sense. Remove the brighter red. So that's just the base color overlay thing that you mentioned in the guide. Though I think it's supposed to be at like 65% or something. So it's like that. Make sure I do this right here. Is that what it's supposed to be? You read the layer for the gradient and the shadows for the highlight combine. You read the layer. Oh, I see. Highlights is just its own thing here, and then manga gradient, which I don't know what that is. So for the highlights, what if I just did like... the black to white gradient in Clip Studio Paint. Well, I don't have Clip Studio Paint. Alright, that probably shouldn't be the highlight color. Should probably be like... Or is that too harsh? You know what I could do is just take this layer with that brighter red, because that was what was meant to be the highlights anyway, and kind of sort of give it like this. Am I doing it, Mr. Krabs? So if it's like a matte finish, I just wouldn't use a highlight because it's... Right. Okay. So in that case, we have our shadows, and we want to do our second shadow layer, which is for smaller details. It's the same color as the shadow, but 65% opacity. And that would look like yeah, it's kind of the same idea. Just do over the top a little bit with that because it'll look like the bottom of the folded over ness, kinda. That's a trick I learned from one of the other sprites I was working on. I think it needs some other detail, but I don't hate how this looks overall. I think if I'm gonna do like a highlight, it should just kind of cover it in like a wide brush and not be kind of like this, maybe. That might be the way to do it. Kind of make it look just a little more round. I'm not super convinced of what it is the only issue that I'm having with the design so far. I could put like a belt on it, kind of, you know, pilgrim hat style. Excuse me. Not 100%. I could draw stars on it. So like if I did, you know, If I did these stars that kind of went all over the thing. That might kind of sell the illusion a little better, right? So I probably won't make them white like that. What I'll probably do is make them match the base color pretty close, and then manually put the highlights back on and shadows and all that. Is there anything aside from it being red to indicate that's a fire hat? I don't really have that deep of a plan for it, to be honest. I'd be open to ideas. Let's see if I can't do it like this. So if I were to adjust this to be pretty darn close to the red of the hat. Maybe have a belt around or a gem at the top. Yeah, I could do that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring these up here and make them really light so I can come back through. Actual highlight layer, draw the stars. That way they just have a bit more of a color there and here. Off. Hey, I never claimed to be an artist. That doesn't look terrible, right? Yeah, I might try to draw a little gem on there. I'd revise the shadow in the top left. What, here? I assume you mean? Yes, it has pillow shading. Well, pillows are cotton, and the hat is cotton. No. Here's what I'll do. I'll erase a whole bunch of this and then redraw it in so that it still keeps the same texture. I assume the problem is that the shadow of that fold is touching the highlight below it. Right? Or is it because of the shadow at the top there that's a problem? Yeah, I mean, side by side, they're definitely not. You know, there's still a pretty clear difference. I don't know if I'm incapable of keeping up with a new art style, or if I'm just blind. But I don't think these match too great. What do you think? Do they feel like they fit together? I wonder how hard it would be to make a pin. I use more jagged lines in the torch. For more flowy line work, I'd compare the hat to the 4 and 3 leaf clovers. Oh, that would make sense. Un moment. I think the outline's just thicker than it should be. Maybe I should redo the outline. See how this comes out. That might be the one. Obviously I gotta clean up a lot of stuff now, but I think that actually looks quite a bit better. See, go just like that. I think I might have improved this quite a bit with that new outline. Yeah, I'm a lot more happy with this now. Kind of looks like they fit as a set better. What did I just do? Oh. Alright, so with that in mind, why don't we do a little gem? I'll be honest, I was really not confident about about trying to replicate the new style better, but I think it's actually going significantly better than I would have hoped. Everything takes time. That's really the main thing to keep in mind. That doesn't look good. How do we feel about that gem? Does the gem match the rest of it decently? Or does it kind of look out of place? So I'm not 100% iffy about the placement. It looks a little out of place. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. You know, I just took away that center part, and I think just as that stands, I already like it more. I wonder if that's what the problem is. That it had too much going on. Like, what about just that? I could also make it more orange to sell the overall fiery effect. You know? Like that. I think that's a good middle ground. Oh, I never completed the top of that star there. That's why that looks weird. Was this layer here. That should... Oops. Should do it, yeah. All the logo variants are up on the server. Nice. Much appreciated. Alright. Any final thoughts or feelings before I move on to getting this implemented? I'm gonna sharpen these spikes a little bit on the star. Want to add a leather band or something around the brim of the hat for the gem to be pinned to. I could, I just don't know if it's gonna make this look busy. It's kinda... I don't know. Do a leather band. One thing at a time. I'll offset the gem in a minute. Alright, so there's kind of a band going across. And we can take the gem itself, and somehow I ended up closing this up a little bit. Put it like right there. I don't love the color choice for the band, but that can always change. something like that. You know what it looks like now? It looks like if Red Link from Four Swords like got raptured out of his clothes and like this is in the middle of his clothes falling to the ground. That's what it looks like to me. Like if I were to just take Red Link and, you know, summon him to heaven instantly. And this is what it looks like when his clothes fall. Yep, that's what this is. This is Red Link getting raptured. Oh, I can't unsee it now. I'm so upset. That's literally what it... Oh god. Oh no. My boy. What have they done to my boy? Oh no. Did I just crash Firefox? Oh no. Which Link from Four Swords is the best? That's it's a tough question. Open image in new tab. What have they done to him? Oh man. I'm so upset right now. I mean, it's totally just the belt. That's the problem that makes it look like that. I've got to do something to make it look less stupid. And Purple Link from Four Swords is the best one. Because he's got like a ridiculous voice. Like all the other ones are like, ha, ha, and he's like, oh. So, he wins. Okay, so the only thing I'm not understanding now, I think, is the manga gradient thing. Like, am I covering the whole thing and putting a gradient there? Because, like, I can do that. I don't think mango gradient is an option, but it's just like a black and white gradient. And just overlay. 50%. Did I do this right? Does that look right? Or do I need to be like smarter about it? Because I could do it in the direction of the light source for everything else instead. I'm more, you know. How about this? I'll do both and see how it looks. Black to white in the direction of the light source. White being in the direction of the light source, right? Not the other way around. Also, this is not black to white. There we go. Yes, OMG. Listen. I may not be smart. Okay. Like that? Because it's only on the base color, right? I don't want it to be an overlay for everything. Or do I want it to be an overlay for everything? Oh no, because it says it's right below the highlights. I can read. Kinda. So it would go like there. Am I an evil genius yet? Something's going on here that's kind of funky. If I hold my pen the right way around, usually it works better on the tablet, believe it or not. What is happening right here? What layer is that on? I am so confused. Why do I have this, like... What on God's green flat earth? Oh, I see what happened. I'm a genius. What the? What in darnation? Why would it ever look like this? Oh, because that's still on. Okay. See, I'm figuring it out slowly but shortly. Okay. Okay. Can you tell that I'm struggling a bit today? So, I take the base color and I select opaque like before. Weirdly, it's not letting me read or write on the server on the Mac even after reopening terminal and putting in the custom text. Hey, remember when I was doing that when I was like, oh, apparently Mac has a bad habit of overwriting config files every time you update? And then I was like, so just don't update. Well, as it turns out, that's what I was talking about. All right, how do we feel now? Pencils down. Do we feel like this wizard hat is looking wizardy? You can't unsee the link. Me either. It's so bad. I wish I never said it. I can't believe I've done this. He's gonna be Raptured Link forever. I don't know why. It looks so much like that to me. Do we feel like it's a decent wizard hat, though? Or does it look like garbage? Hot, stinky garbage. I think I'm gonna try that gradient thing one more time. I think I want less of the lightest portion of it. Know what I'm saying? More like that. I think my biggest problem with it is that I really, really, really feel as though it looks like it came out of Neopets. And I don't know. I don't know if that's a good thing, because I don't think it's a good thing. No, it's not quite Neopets. Maybe I'm just thinking of, like, something else. I might just be making fun of my wife for playing Neopets. Yeah, that might be it. I might not put a million hours into this and just call it there. And then we can actually go through with putting it into the game. Because that's what the stream is meant to be about. Stream. Yeah, that was unintentional. Hey, is the music still playing? Because I don't have headphones on, so I can't actually hear it. I have no idea if it's still playing or not. Like at all. Yeah? Okay. I really should be wearing my headphones. Look at how, like, different this looks. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if I go to... If I go to my all relics page, right, I can go ahead and, you know, throw this guy in there. And right now, the problem is that it's half the size of everything else, right? So, like, if I bump that up to 2, yeah, that looks decently different from everything else. And, like, maybe that's... Here, I'm gonna stick these in here. Because I want to see how those look alongside the rest as well. By the way, honey, did you see the relic idea I sent you over text last night? At like midnight? I think it's such a funny idea. What do we think? Do we think at least these ones look coherent together? Regrettably, yes. Listen, it was a great idea. It was great. It was one of the ideas of all time. I mean, it's gonna take a while to move everything over, but I think the new style is pretty good. So why don't we go through and actually make the relic? Because that's kind of the interesting part, right? Is taking the relic art and making it into an actual relic. So, we have a few basic effects that this is going to do that exist on other relics, and so we kind of want to reuse that code more or less, right? At some point I'm gonna go through and make actual general use functions for this stuff, but right now it's basically just copy paste. So right now the fire extinguisher makes it so that fire damage you do does not hurt yourself. This item is also going to do that. So we can reuse that portion of the code. And so when we make our new relic, we'll come down to the fire extinguisher, which is a common. We will duplicate that guy. And we'll do the red wizard hat. And we'll change the basic information. And then we'll go through and add everything else that it does. So the description was makes you look hot. So the main thing that I'm kind of struggling with here on the wizard hats is that originally they were going to do the same thing as the fire extinguisher, where they just make it so you don't take recoil. That way you would have multiple. But I was talking to my wife and my brother, you know, everyone's working on the game, and I think it makes more sense for the fire extinguisher to basically be an easy to find version that just gets rid of the recoil, and then the other ones can do that but also give you like additional damage or some kind of additional effect. I'm thinking it might be cool if the wizard hats make it so when you end your turn, either when you end your turn you cast an additional magic effect, or when you cast a, like in this case, a fire attack, it casts it twice. Not 100% sure yet. I could definitely make it cast twice. I think that's doable with what I've already got. I know that the tome, I want to give you additional damage and make it so it guarantees that the status effect applies. So like, all fire attacks have a small chance of burning, right? But I think that with the magical tome, it does more damage and guarantees that it that it burns. Oh man. Do we have a relic that duplicates your attack or causes the previous relic to happen again? Not really. No. What would be cool is if I made it so you could queue up attacks. And so, like, let me show you what I mean here. So with the on battle start, or on turn start rather, oh, you know what? I actually can do that. Yeah, there's some weird stuff that has to happen here. Yeah, okay, I know what I want to do. So when you pick your card, at some point it plays the let's see, global battle state, set player attack target, players pick target dot emit. I think it's in the damage bus. At some point, I have the relic function for on-card play. So why don't we try to find that real quick. let's see, so right here. Handle card, yeah. So on card played, we have this. So what we could do, in order to make this work out the way I want it to, is we could await this. Probably want to do it here, though. So effectively what this is going to do, if we await this, then it allows us to have relics that take time to do their thing. And I'll show you why we have that. So in turn start, we have this await on turn start relics. And that happens because if I give myself some relics ahead of time, so, or actually, you know, I don't even have to do this anymore because I have a cheat menu now. So if I go in here, I go cheats, stink bug, give relic, and you know what, I'll give myself a few, and also Tale of the Rat King, yeah. So if I start a battle now, you'll see that a whole bunch of stuff happens, right? Before my actual attack, both of these run immediately. So it's gonna run through all of the stink bugs. I don't have a method of interrupting it yet, which is going to come soon. But that will basically never happen anyway. You'll never have enough stink bugs to end the battle like that. But point being, if that works to delay, then I should be able to delay otherwise as well. So what I can do is in this red wizard hat, I can, let me get an attack. For now, we're just going to use the existing attack that the player does with the only fire attack that's in the game. So we'll go to our character scene, we'll go to animation, and we'll go to, where is it? Attacked low elemental. This is a 2.5 second animation. It looks like this. So what we can do is we can run this animation and do a second set of attacks. Every time you cast an attack that's fire themed. So come up here and grab that relic. Red wizard's hat should be, this is formatted wrong. Just wondering why it wasn't in alphabetical order. I'm gonna make this mythic, as it should be. And so it's going to have set is called last, and it's also going to have relic delay. Should be 2.5 seconds. And then what we can do is we can cast a second card at the end here. So, I'm gonna borrow some code from the way that the Rat King relic works. Should be legendary. So I set up these attack packets here. then I emit them as do attack packets, which makes sense. Doesn't really need anything else. Yeah, that should work. So what we'll do is we'll take the attack packets from the existing attack and we will just run them again with a new animation. Yeah. So if anything changed, that will mean that we did end up getting a fire attack. So what we can do is reverse this. And so if it is a fire attack, in this case, what we're going to do is run it again. So battle signal bus dot do attack packets dot emit with the arguments of the attack packets themselves, which is now final packets. And the animation is next, I believe. Yep. So we will just do attack low elemental as like a guarantee. And the attacker is a reference to the player. Character stats reference. And that should do it, I think. My mom said I could be the stay-at-home mom while I program. Is that right? I'll take care of all the cats. Okay. So, effectively what I've done here is I've made it so that I can run attacks twice. And that should just work out of the box, I believe. Which, you know, famous last words. We'll give this a shot. So we will... the wizard's hat doesn't exist yet. Hold on. Relic index. Come down to mythic. Red. Did I call it wizard hat? Yeah. And then we'll grab the UID of that script, throw it in there. This will throw an error at the moment because it's not in the other array, but that's fine. It actually won't because I haven't run the audit, but it's fine. Okay, makes you look hot. So what should happen is it should cast the fire attack twice. Okay. Interesting. The animation played once with a big delay. Interesting. Something else is going on here, and I'm not really sure what. I think I might know what I did. Yeah, so there's a big 2.5 second delay there. And then when I fire it, we get a big delay again. Debugger, I hardly know her. Attack low elemental. Let me guess. Is it elemental low? Is that the problem? Did I just write it wrong? I bet I did. Low elemental. Interesting. That is... Oh, you know the ampersand is inside. There we go. Okay. I was like, what is happening right now? Other than that, if I go into the global relic state here, the problem is that it calls the delay even if it doesn't need it. Know what I'm saying? So this delay is being called no matter what. And so relics that don't need to delay at every possible point still are doing that. So I think I need to set the delay to be specific to certain relic functions. Yeah. I think that's going to be the way we do it. This track audio is a little loud listening on phone. This is Puxillus. I turned it down a little. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make it so do relic delay. If you know, I gotta actually write a function for a getter because that's what I do for all the other ones here. Just so everything's consistent. So, any plans for setting up a webcam and using a green screen? Probably not. What we can do is we can actually move this in there as well. So instead of doing this here every time, we'll just do it like that. And that should make it so that everything works the way I think it should. So if I'm correct, right now, nothing should work at all. So just to make sure that nothing works the way I think it should, this should bug out. No pun intended. Yep. Okay, so I can run attacks while that's happening. That shouldn't be a thing. Good. So instead, what I can do is I can go to the stink bug, and it's got its delay, but it should be relic delay callable equals, and that'll be a string name on turn start. And just test to make sure that that works. I should also change that type of I didn't even give myself the relic. I should also change the type of variable from string to string name. Okay. Yep, so the delay happens. Good. Cool, cool. Very cool, very nice, very cool, very nice. String name. So string names are a little bit better because they effectively are just pointers to where the string is stored. And so comparing it, you're comparing a pointer to a pointer to see if they're pointing to the same data instead of comparing the whole string. And that's kind of why these are better. Because I do end up comparing them quite a bit, like right there. So that's string name, good. We take this and copy it, and we're going to go to the tail of the Rat King relic, and we're going to put it there as well. Now that should function, and now we can go to the wizard hat. And under the delay, we will turn this to on card played. Now, the trouble here, I think, is that if we're doing this delay every time it's on card played, then even if it's not an applicable card, the delay will still happen. So I'm thinking that at some point I'm going to have to go through and take the delaying logic out of the global relic state and put it into the individual relics. That way we're not, you know, wasting so much time. At the moment, I don't think we're gonna get... Well, here's the thing though. In every instance, I am calling the relic callable, and then I'm getting the delay. That might be important here. Because in that case, what I can do is I can set this to 0, and then if I need it, I can set this to 2.5. So at the beginning, we will do 0 seconds, and it will become 2.5 if we need it. That might actually solve our problem. So we'll do cheats, red wizard hat, give relic, and let's see if it works. So we should get no delay on battle start. Yep, no delay, good. And I didn't get a single fire attack. Sweet. I probably should make that guaranteed for testing purposes. Here we go, here's a fire attack. So this should double cast now. We get 1, and we get 2. Okay. So, here is the real test. I think that I know a way to crash the game now. But we're gonna have to test it. So we're gonna do red, wizard hat, and we're gonna do dumbbell. We'll give ourselves a couple of those. So now we have a high enough attack that there's a chance that I found a way to crash the game. Again, I didn't get the card I want here. But that's okay. So I'm gonna have to click pretty fast here, but what I'm thinking of doing is double casting this, and during the delay period, clicking on another material. So here we go. Oh man, I didn't click fast enough. We'll try that again. This might crash the game, but that's kind of the idea. Okay, here we go. I didn't give myself the relic, god dang it. I would die for the Spud Buddies and the Super Sweeties. Aw. Okay. Let's try it. Well, that doesn't... Well, so that didn't crash the game, though. And I kind of would have expected it to. We might be safe. Okay. That still just killed one shot. I gotta give myself less dumbbells. Try it one more time. So, we use this attack, and then I used an attack that I used a defense. Oh man, I defended instead of attacking for the third time. This is weirdly hard to pull off, which is probably good for the sake of not crashing the game. But surely there's gamers out there with faster hands than me. Okay, here we go. This is so dumb. Why am I doing this? Okay. So I attempted to use an attack on nobody, and the game's fine. The game is fine. I did not get any... This is a regular error. That's nothing to worry about. Alright, I think the red wizard hat is working. Also, I just noticed it actually scaled to the right size by itself. I think that's a result of using texture 2D, or texture control. What the heck's it called? A texture rec control instead of using a sprite 2D. So it's not actually bound to a size, it's bound to a minimum size variable. And so no matter what, it's going to scale up to this size, even if it, you know, shouldn't be. So it looks like I don't have to do any actual code when we change all the art over. We might just be good to go. So that's cool. So my raptured red link is gonna be okay. Oh man, I'll never unsee that for as long as I live. It looks like red link got raptured. Man. Alright, so with that, now knowing that this is working, we can move on to the other relic that we're going to do. The mood ring. Mood rings are pretty cool. I think I know how I'm gonna draw it. It's gonna be kind of shiny. Okay. So we'll come in here. What I'm gonna do is make a... Why can't I draw a perfect circle first try with no smoothing? Actually, that's kind of what I want. So that'll be the inner side of the ring. And then... we're gonna go like this. Yeah. First try. That is a very decent ring outline for being free-handed. I am so proud of that. For those who caught the last stream, getting the base shape of the ring took me like 2 hours for some reason, because I'm just not a very good artist. But that wasn't bad. That was actually real solid. So, let's get our base color here. It's gonna be like one of those real dark gray rings like that. You know, call me moody, but this is gonna look a lot like my wedding band, actually. I already know this relic's gonna look real nice. I'm like already gonna be happy with it. Alright, so it's going to have two base colors here, which are really just grays, but, you know, it's because it's a front and back sort of thing. And these should be on separate layers, but guess what? I didn't. Let's actually bring that. Yeah, maybe it should have been on separate layers, because now I want that to be a little bit different. It's fine. We will make it just a little bit darker, like that. Think it might be a good idea to come in here and do this. Just so it doesn't just look like an ashtray. Yeah, there we go. This could definitely be thicker. Does that look good? Made it a little too round. It should do that a little more. Yeah. Yeah, that's decent. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of make that colorful gradient thing that happens on mood rings. Get kind of a sort of a this going on. It's got to look like a heat map, kind of, is the idea. then what I'll do is I'm gonna bring most of these down a bit. How do we feel about that? I don't think that that looks too bad. So then at the very top here, I'm gonna do highlights, which on this are gonna be pretty close to white, I think. That's really not... It doesn't really need a whole ton more than that. Come down here and we'll do our shadows, which are really just gonna look like this. Probably a much better way to do this, but whatever. Okay. And that should kind of do it. Oh. And this layer is 65. Some I think that's a pretty convincing mood ring. How are we feeling out there in the chat? You guys, what do you guys think? Think that's looking moody? Now we just have to do the manga overlay thing. Is what we'll do is we'll do select all. And just add all of these layers here. And then we'll come up here just below the highlights, and we will do a little bit of that. What do we think? That come out good or what? Because I don't think that's too bad. I think that actually came out quite nice. Alright, so we'll export that. Throw that in here. I would make the color section a little bigger. That's being really picky. Agreed. Actually, I kind of do think the color section should be bigger. But I don't know if I want to do it like that. I would probably just redraw it. I'll probably come back to it later. I want to actually see about getting it implemented. You know, compared to the ring that I drew last week, or both the rings actually, I think this came out quite a bit better. Heck yeah. Okay. So the mood ring does some funky stuff. Effectively what it does is every time your turn starts, it picks a random element and then it forces all of your attacks to conform to that element. Know what I'm saying? So I have two choices here for how I want to handle the mood ring. I can either put this back over here. I can either make it so that it picks or it changes the attack to that element in the order that you picked up the ring, or I can make it change the element of the card immediately. Now, let me tell you the difference because it's kind of funky, right? Let me show you what I mean. So if we were to play the game and I were to add some relics here, so I'm gonna do brick. I'll do fire extinguisher. I'll do red wizard hat. Maybe stink bug and torch. So let's say that this red wizard hat here is the mood ring. If I were to use a fire attack, what would happen is it would loop through all the relics to see which ones alter the attack, and it would say, okay, brick has nothing to do with it. Fire extinguisher, oh, this should get rid of all recoil because it's a fire-themed attack, right? Because it says fire move right there, and it's fire-themed, it's going to get rid of the fire aspect of it. Or it's going to get rid of the recoil, right? So then, the mood ring would go next, and the mood ring would say, oh, it's, you know, we picked wind as our element for this round. So I'm going to change it to be a wind attack, but the recoil is already gone. Now, why is that important? Well, if the mood ring was here, and the fire extinguisher was here, then the mood ring is going to say, okay, it's a wind attack. And then the fire extinguisher is going to say, oh, well, it has recoil, but it's not fire recoil, so I'm not going to worry about it. So in that one case, the order of operations is going to change how your run goes. And so my two options are, I can either prevent that by making the mood ring run when you draw the card and not when you play it, or, that's probably what I'm going to end up going with now that I say it out loud. The other option is I can make it so the player can move their relics around, and then you kind of get this Balatro thing where the order of your jokers matters, and players who are a little more skilled can come through and alter the order of all of their relics until it's the perfect build. But I kind of feel as though that is not in the spirit of what the game is. You know? In the words of Concerned Ape, developer of Stardew Valley, you should never encourage something that isn't fun. So I think it's not a good idea to make it so you can order your relics. Because in Balatro it's fun because you can only ever have, 5, 6 jokers depending on how you're sorting things. And so it is fun to find the right combination. But I think in this game where you could have, 100 relics, you might have all of these relics. Having to find a perfect order for them could be a pain in the butt. So, I don't know. I might come through and just make this run ahead of time. Like I said, that's probably what I'm going to end up going with. So why don't we do that? What base do I want to start with? It needs to be a relic that affects... You guys hear Bart? Bro's squeaking. Hey, bud. What are you mowing about? He wants to sit on my lap during the stream. Sorry, bub, that might be a little distracting. Good boy. It's a good boy. It was a good boy. I really hope you guys could hear Bart. That would be excellent. Alright, so we need a relic that affects things based on the type that they are. So we'll start with the fire extinguisher, like we did with the other relic, and then we'll use that as the basis for everything else. So fire extinguisher is a uncommon. We'll duplicate that, and we're gonna call this Mood Ring Relic. Now, Mood Ring, what it does is really funky, like it's not the type of effect that you would necessarily want, but it's also not extremely overpowered. And so the rarity is going to be kind of tough because I could make it really, really rare because it's not the best effect to have. But then if you're playing the game and you randomly get a legendary relic, like, oh, that's cool. But what if it's the legendary one you don't want, you know? So I think I'm going to make it rare. So it's kind of like right down the middle of the road. Hey, Mr. Bart. Hi. What are you meowing about? He came over and he stood up on my leg and buried his claws into my shorts so that he can stand. I'm gonna rip my pants, bud. There you go. Alright, he jumped up, so sorry about any bumps into the microphone. As soon as I said it, he really rubs his face right into the microphone. Hi, Bart. So, the mood ring description is... let's see. The color... By the way, hey Astounding, how you doing? I think I read your first message, but I didn't say hello. I hope you're doing good today, buddy. Did I make it every turn? No, every battle. So that'll be what the compendium says about it. Let's see if... Thank you, Astounding. Thank you. Where is mood ring? Copy UID. That will be the texture. This, it doesn't need to be called last. Because we're going to do on card drawn. And not on card played. So every time the card is drawn, it generates its attack packets. I believe. Let me quick double check. So this runs as soon as it creates the card display, which runs in many places. Let's see. It runs after the card is already instantiated. That's really what I care about. Because the cards create their attack packets on generation. This is kind of complicated, like all the stuff that happens here, but I just want to make sure that we're not going to run into any snafus if we code this the way that I plan on coding it. So what we're going to do, this should be regular card, not underscore card. So for attack packets, all we're going to do is we're going to set every single packet's element to the element that's chosen. So we need two things. We need a variable, current element. It's going to be of type card classification dot element. And on battle start, we are going to set current element equal to card classification dot element dot keys, which key on an enumerator should give me a random element. I know where I can check. We'll go to the loot handler because I get a random rarity. Get rarity weighted. Oh, I see. As rarity. Oh, I'm doing that in a real funky way. Yeah, there's gonna be kind of a way that a weird way that I have to do this, because enumerators aren't really meant to be used randomly like that. Values, I mean, that's one way we could do it. Don't need... Here we go. I mean, that's not terrible. I'm getting this list twice, which I don't have to do. But it's fine. Yeah, that's fine. So what we're gonna do then is on card drawn. We'll get rid of basically all of this. I don't need to check if anything changed. I just am setting it. So down here, this will go last. If attack element, we don't even need to check. We can just do add element, and we'll do current element. Actually, I can go a little further even. I can go like this. Because that returns a packet. So that'll basically be it. By the way, this is my new favorite YouTube emote, the popcorn. What's so great about it? What do you like about it? Tell me everything. I don't know if this is gonna work the way that I expect it to anyway. I mean, there's only one way to tell, is by testing. So it's gonna pick a random one. It's gonna set everything to that element. And then that's it. I guess I don't really see any reason it wouldn't work. It just feels weird, you know? It's one of those weird feeling ones. So under rare, we'll come down here and we'll do mood ring. Okay. So what's going to be our best way to test this? Oh, I have an idea. I think I have a good idea. I think I have a great idea. So we are going to want... We only have fire attacks right now implemented in the game, right? You can only get fire attacks. So I'm going to give myself everything that affects something that isn't a fire attack and see what we get. So I'm going to get, let's see. I'm going to get the igloo, the floaties, which I think are in the game, right? Yep, floaties. Yeah, I'll just do igloo and floaties. Let me also see what else I can implement at the same time to get like the same effect. So, the Inferno relic. So what the Inferno relic does, if you guys saw the video from yesterday, is anytime you cast a fire move, all of the damage it would do becomes recoil that hits yourself, but then you also gain attack up in the quantity of how much damage you just took. Now the lightning rod is actually basically the exact same relic. Did I just write lighting rod? Yeah, I did. Lightning rod. It's basically the same exact relic, but it does it with defense and with electric attacks. So that one is stunningly attractive. The compendium text in Inferno is also wrong. So we'll take this and we'll go here, and this will be any electric damage. Defense up. And other than that, I should just be able to set the texture. And all of this is just to test the mood ring relic I just made. Hi, Bart. Bart has decided that it's time to sit on my lap. Hi, bud. What are you doing? Okay, he already jumped down. Bart changes his mind like nobody's business. You change your mind like a girl changes clothes. Alright, so we'll go like that. And all we're gonna do is change the word fire to electric. that should be it, I think. And then just has to be a defense up. So we'll go down to our status effects, stat change, defense up, and we'll stick that in there instead. So why am I doing all of this? So the entire point of doing this is that I can take the mood ring and make sure that it does what I want it to do without actually having a lot of elemental attacks implemented into the game. So we will go to our relic index, go under rare, and we'll put it right next to Inferno, because they're similar in a lot of ways. Okay. Now, all I should have to do is I'm gonna give myself all of these relics ahead of time, just so I can test. So mood ring is the first. Then we want fire extinguisher. No, we don't want fire extinguisher. We wanna make it so that fire is used but doesn't get affected. So lightning rod. We'll do igloo. We'll do floaties. And that, I think, is all the ones we've got. And just to make sure that everything is acting the way it should, we'll even give ourselves that. Okay, so with all these relics, we can test this pretty thoroughly. So first thing I'm going to do is pause the game. I'm going to go into our remote scene here. I'm going to go under global relic state. Go to the mood ring. And I want to watch what happens. So the current element is element 1. Element 1 is electric. So right now, all of my attacks should count as electric. So like this should give me defense. And it did. And this should not melt the ice. And it didn't. It actually even changed colors to be electric. Interestingly, I still got fire recoil, but that's always going to happen. I got the fire recoil effect, but it was technically electric recoil. That's important to note. So the problem here, the real real biggest problem is that this battle is now unwinnable. There is no way for me to do damage to the sweeties or the spuddies here. With that, like, other than this status effect. That burn will do damage, but nothing else will. I did not consider this, but there is a negative synergy here. So, just in case you guys haven't figured it out, here's what's happening. The mood ring is making everything I do electric type, right? And the lightning rod makes it so that any damage I do is converted into recoil on myself plus defense, right? So the only thing that I can possibly do here is buff myself and wait. Because they can't do any damage to me with this big defense up. But they definitely can get killed. So let's see if I can ever win this battle. Because this might be super broken. Yeah, no, they're just gonna keep healing. This is actually an unwinnable battle. Oh man. I can die. That's about it. Yeah. Okay. Unwinnable. Back to the drawing board. Oh no. So here's how we should do this, I think. If the element, or if there is an element on the attack, then I will change it. So if packet dot attack element does not, or if it does equal card classification dot element dot physical, then just append the packet as is and continue. Otherwise, it will alter it. So if I do it like this, then I gotta see what type I get here. So I got element number 5, which is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is wind. Okay, so right now this should turn green, and it does, kinda, sorta. Yeah, it turned green. So this though should not be altered. So why don't we do a few more tries? See what we get. So we got 6, which is poison. We don't have anything that affects poison, but this should at least turn purple. Yep. Okay, so we got water. So water, the floaties make it so you don't take recoil. And sure enough, we did not take recoil. Okay, so that does actually function the way that it should. I want to say that this is as far as I want to go on the mood ring. I don't need to make it much more complicated than this. I am curious what element it got. So it got electric type. So let me see if I can find a fire type move, and it should fail and give me defense instead. All right. Yep. Okay, good. All right, so everything is functioning the way it should. Until the mood ring randomly rolls fire, I will never be able to unveil what's in this old ice. Though now I'm really curious what I randomly will get. So I might play long enough to find out. Wow, yeah, this would kill me. 2 times attack buff on a Super Spuddies would absolutely kill me. In fact, I kind of have to take them out. And you die from lesions. We're good. Alright, did I get fire? Nope, I got poison. And I died, technically. Man. Rough one. Spuddies will die. Those Spuddies won't. But they hug. Let me get pumice on you. Pumice on you. When will bro implement mortality? Soon. It'll be soon. There is a reason I haven't done it yet. Oh no. Thank God I'm immortal. That won't do anything. I'll dig for more materials. At least the Spuddies are done. Pow. Just let that end him. There we go. Alright, well, that's unfortunate. Did I get fire? Did I get fire? I should have dug. I don't actually have any fire attacks left, probably. I can check. Let's see. In deck. Oh, I do actually have a fire attack in my deck. I just have to actually get it. Yeah, this carrot was supposed to be an incidental, but something about this run altered the RNG, and I didn't get it. That's why I was surprised when the carrot popped up. Like, this is supposed to be an incidental. It isn't. Something I've changed recently has altered the RNG. Ah, there it is. Alright, so, what type did I get? Electric. God dang it. Or no, that wasn't electric, that was wind. Alright. Well. That's probably going to be good there. I'm not going to keep fighting that to see what's in that relic. Alright, what else we want to do for relics? There's definitely a lot that need to be done. What do we got implemented, actually? I'm really curious about our numbers now. We've got to be over 50. Let's run our audits. And close the game. We got 51 total relics. 3 of them are not on the rarity list, which is fine. Let's see. Mood Ring, Lightning Rod, and Red Wizard Hat. That makes sense. Let me actually fix that right now before I get too far. Relic classification. Bro audited the relics. Want to go pick up my truck before it gets too... I thought that's what you were doing. Or no, you said I was gonna... Okay, no, I remember what you said. Yeah, why don't we do that? So I'm probably gonna end stream here, guys. I want to thank you guys very much for stopping by. It really does mean a lot to have people stopping into the streams again. And I'm going to be doing these every single week. So like I said, I know I was looking for the trim for the bathroom. Oh yeah. Like I said, guys, every single week I'm going to be doing a stream like this. So every Wednesday, stop by, watch some art get drawn, watch some code get done, and we can watch the progress of this video game happen, you know, together. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm gonna see you all next time. Hold on. Goodbye.